Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Okay, so I've been meaning to type this story up for a while now and post it to you guys, but keep getting put off by work and other shit. Before I begin, I'll give you some info. 26-year-old male, living in the UK, born close to Birmingham, moved to Ticknall when 10 because of reasons. Quiet village in the middle of nowhere, old people everywhere. Just so you know, the events that I'm going to write about happened over the space of like 14 to 15 years, so I may jump around a bit. But please stay with me if you can. I'd like to get some clarity and/or reassurance on this if possible. So here we go. December 2002. First Christmas in my new house. House is pretty big, lots of land to it. 10 acres. Behind the house is a woodland area. Behind the woods is a large reservoir. Me and Dad regularly go walking through the woods, sometimes fishing at a reservoir. School holidays, Mom and Dad both have time off. This never happens, so we spend lots of time doing stuff. One day, I walk through the woods to a reservoir. Everything is perfectly normal, sitting on a bench looking at some boats and shit. Suddenly notice something in the water. Long white thing, can't tell what it is. It's about 50 to 60 feet away. Point it out to parents and ask what it is. Might be a dead heron. I roll with this as I've never seen a dead heron. About an hour later, walking back towards the woods, I ran off ahead to feed the ducks. Notice white thing again, closer this time. Close enough to see what it is. It's a white sleeve with a bluish hand at the front. A severed arm. Freakout.jpg. Parents run over, ask what's wrong. I explain that there's an arm floating in the water. Dad calms me down and tells me to look at the water. The arm is gone. Must just be stupid kid brain messing with me. Fast forward to February 2003. In the woods with my cousin Tom, about 8 years old. I'm 12, building a den. About 4 in the afternoon, so the sun is going to be setting soon. Not dark yet though. Tom goes to find more sticks for the den. I stay and carry on building the walls. Not a great den, only about 3 feet tall. I put the last stick on the wall. Tom isn't back. I shout at Tom and he answers. Can't see him though. Start looking for more sticks myself in the opposite direction to Tom. 2 minutes later, hear a scream. It's Tom. I'm scared. Why is Tom screaming? Pause for a few seconds. Don't know what to do. Start running towards where Tom is. Tom is heading towards me crying. Like, really crying. Sobbing, red face, panicked. I ask what's wrong. He screams that a man tried to take him. We ran back to the house. Parents try to calm us down. Make hot chocolate, give us a hug and shit like that. Tom tells his story. Says a doctor told him to go away with him because he wanted to make him better. Parents are concerned. Dad calls the police to report it just in case. 2 hours later, the police arrived. Ask us questions and then search the woods, no one there. Keck, obviously it happened 2 hours ago, you plebs. Next month or so, Tom doesn't come over and parents get a bit more protective. No more in the woods for you, anon. Jump forward again now to the end of May 2005. I'm 14 now. Little brother Dylan is 6. We regularly take walks through the woods and look at birds and stuff. He loves birds. Today is particularly warm for this time of year. Cousin Tom is visiting again. We go to the woods. Dylan and Tom go ahead. I'm absent-mindedly texting or something. I sit on a tree stump and carry on texting. Dylan and Tom go on ahead. Dylan runs back and asks if he can climb trees with Tom. Parents always say no. I'm not a parent. Yeah, go for it. About 30 minutes pass, Tom and Dylan laughing and shouting to each other. I decide to put my phone away and see what they're up to. Suddenly I noticed I couldn't hear them. I shout out. No response. Not concerned, just annoyed. I reckon they're up to no good. I see both of them standing by a tree about 30 feet away, head towards them and ask what they're doing. Both boys were silent, staring up the tree. WTF? Get closer and ask again what they are doing. No response. Look up the tree, nothing there. What are you doing? Both Tom and Dylan look at me, visibly scared. What's he doing? Freaky little fuckers. Who? What are you on about? The man in the tree. Why is he in the tree? Fuck this. There is no one in the tree. There is no one in the woods. Tell boys that it isn't funny and we're going home. Quite freaked out now. Get back to the house and the boys sit on the sofa. Look pale and worried. Jenny, Tom's mom, asks what happened. I say they were playing a stupid game. Go to my room. Can hear parents talking to Tom and Dylan from the top of the stairs. Both boys say that an old man with a white coat was up the tree. Boys say that I couldn't see him when they told me to look. Dad asks what kind of white coat the man was wearing. Like a long doctor's coat. About 10 minutes later, Dad comes up to my room. Asks about man in the tree. Didn't see shit, Captain.jpg. Later that night, once Tom has gone home and Dylan is in bed, I come downstairs. Mom and Dad talk about incident. We all conclude that the boys must have seen something on TV. Think nothing of it. About 22:30, I'm on my computer chatting on MSN Messenger. Old school. Mate asks if I want to meet him and some other mates at the reservoir tomorrow. Suddenly, I have a realization. The reservoir. The white-sleeved arm. Like an arm in a doctor's coat. Get a bit freaked out, but try to rationalize the situation. Must be nothing, go to bed. Now moving to August 2005. Family is over for a BBQ. Uncle's birthday. Good party, much fun. It's a Saturday night, so all of the kids stay up late to play. About 11-ish, everyone is leaving or left by now. Tom's family is still here. Darren's family is still here. Darren is another cousin we never saw much of. Only appeared at special occasions. Like Santa. Darren is older than me. Must be about 16 at this point. He's so cool. He smokes. Secretly, of course, so that he doesn't get into trouble. Me, Dylan, Tom, Darren, and Paul, Darren's 10-year-old brother, are all sitting on the bench by the edge of the woods. Away from house and family, not too far though. Darren is smoking and offers everyone a puff. Nobody wants to smoke. Darren is a bit of a prick. Darren's dad shouts over. Says they are leaving in 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, Darren's dad shouts again. We all decide to go back to the house as he is leaving. As we stand up and start to leave the bench, we hear a noise in the woods. Rustling leaves. A branch snapping. Must be a bird or a fox. No big deal. We get about 20, 30 feet away from the bench, then hear a louder noise. Rustling and footsteps. It sounds like something walking through piles of dry leaves. Strange. Not enough leaves on the ground to make so much noise. We stop and look into the woods and can't see much. Sun has been down a while, but the horizon is still quite light. Can make out the trees and branches in the woods. Suddenly notice something moving. Not big, not small. It stops by a tree. What is that? Can't see much. Just a shadowy figure. Looks like a tall man. At the distance we were standing, I'd say between 6 to 7 feet tall. Just standing by a tree, kind of peering around the tree. Darren decides he's a big man. Oi, who the fuck are you? No response. Darren suggests going to have a look. Have a look. At the strange shadowy figure that randomly appeared. What an asshole.jpg. For some reason, the other boys agree to get closer. We start to walk back towards the figure and bench. It was about 10 feet behind the bench. As we get close enough to start seeing detail, my heart sinks. I start to feel sick. The person is wearing a long white coat. Dylan, Tom, and Paul freeze on the spot. Darren and I move a bit closer forward. Darren shouts out again, I don't remember what he said. The figure steps out from behind the tree. Can only make out certain details. Tall man. Long white doctor or lab coat. Glasses. Can see slight light reflection from them. We should go back to the house. Darren tells me not to be a wuss. Okay. You need to piss off before I smash your face in. Kek. Darren looks like an emaciated schoolgirl, not sure how he intends to smash anyone's face in. The figure takes 2 steps forwards. Younger boys are scared, start crying. Dylan and Tom tell me that it's the man from the woods, the man from the tree. I'm freaked out now. Tell Darren I'm taking the boys back to the house. Darren turns to call me a wuss again or something. Turns back. Where did he go? The figure has gone. We tell the adults about this. Dad, uncle, and other cousin, Jack, 24, get torches and go to look. About 15 minutes pass. They come back, no one Innawoods. Eventually everyone goes home and we all go to bed. Now moving to, I think it was November 2005. Might have been early December. Not sure. Get home late from school one night about 7 p.m. Was helping do the sound for a stage show the drama club put on. Police car parked outside. Oh shit. Get inside and find 2 police officers sat at the dining table talking to my dad. What's going on? My dad rushes over to me, visibly upset. Tells me to go to my room for a while. I head upstairs and on the way check in on my little brother. His room is empty. The light is on, but he's not in there. My mom and dad's bedroom door is open. Again, light is on, but no one is there. I sit in my room for a while wondering what the shit is happening. 25 minutes later, my dad comes up to my room. Tells me that my brother was rushed to hospital. My mom went with him. So many questions. What happened? Is he okay? Why were the police here? My mom went into the garden to put some rubbish in the bin and found Dylan unconscious next to his swing set. Dad explains that he hasn't woken up and says police were here to get information. Suspicious accident involving a child or some shit. Says that we're going to the hospital now, get changed and head out. Been at the hospital for about 3 hours. Everyone is upset, obviously. Dylan has no visible injuries, just won't wake up. Doctor says that he will do some scans to rule out problems like stroke or brain hemorrhage. Oh shit. Hours pass. Scans come back clear. Why is Dylan unconscious then? Doctor says it may be a severe allergic reaction to an unknown allergy. Runs more tests. 2 a.m. Dad decides to take me home so I can get some sleep. Mom stays with Dylan. At about 5:30 we got a phone call. Need to go back to hospital because Dylan might not have much longer. Are you fucking serious? What is happening? We get there and Dylan looks weird. Skin is kind of blue-gray. Fingernails are a light purple. Mom and Dad are both really upset. I'm just kind of numb. Doctor says that Dylan may need to be put onto life support. Heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing are all dropping. 2 more hours pass by. Dylan starts coughing and mumbling. Dad calls the nurse, who then calls the doctor. Doctor is visibly surprised to see Dylan waking up. Dylan starts crying and can barely keep his eyes open. Another hour passes and he is calmed now. Just lying there, skin back to normal color. Seems alert and okay. Just looks tired. After 24 hours of observation, Dylan gets to come home. He hasn't said much, just keeps saying that his throat hurts. The next day, Dylan gets up and wants some food. He's been sleeping on and off for about 16 hours now. My mom starts talking to him about how he feels, asks what happened. Dylan gets upset and just stares at the floor. I go over and try to reassure him, tell him that everything is okay and all that shit. Eventually, he stops crying and keeps staring at the floor. The man from the woods was here. What the shit? Mom is clearly panicked. I ask him what he means and he seems a little calmer now. The man that we saw in the woods came to take me to his house. He said that the little boys poorly need help. Mom runs to the phone to tell my dad to come home from work. I tell Dylan that this is not a joke and that he should stop telling stories. Dylan insists he isn't. I ask Dylan to draw the man that he saw. He draws a tall, skinny man with glasses and a long white coat. Just like the guy we all saw in the woods, but a kid's drawing. Eventually, Dad gets home. Police are called. Whole area is on alert and looks out for this man. This went on for about 6 months and eventually it all stopped. People started saying that Dylan was a liar or had an overactive imagination. Now jumping to April 2008. I have some friends over for the night. Me, Jay, Kirsty, Natalie, and Andrew. Mom, Dad, and Dylan are away for the night visiting family. Me and mates playing games, eating pizza, and drinking beer. Usual teenager stuff. Around 10:30 p.m., we all decide to go for a walk in the woods. We'd watched Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, so we're in the mood for a fright. I tell everyone about Dylan's experience in the woods. They all laugh and play it off as a kid's imagination. Andrew says that Dylan must have slipped into a coma and was so scared that he used the man in the woods as a way of rationalizing his fear. We light a fire and get comfy, telling ghost stories. Jay goes off to piss. A few minutes later, Jay shouts out, something like, "Stop fucking around." We all laugh and call out to see what he means. He comes back to the group and says that it wasn't funny. We ask what he means again. He says that one of us was tapping his head with a twig while he was pissing. We laugh. That wasn't us. About half an hour passes and Jay gets jumpy again. He says that he keeps seeing something moving in the trees. We've all been drinking and telling ghost stories, so we think nothing of it and give him a beer. He insists someone is watching us. Girls get freaked out and ask to go back to the house. The mood has changed now. We decided to move on. I suggest heading closer to the reservoir. It's a 15-20 minute walk through the woods. Everyone agrees and we head off. Suddenly, Kirsty screams, "What's that?" She points through the trees. We all look. My heart sinks. It looks like a man, in a white coat, stood about 30 feet away. Without thinking, I say, "It's the fucking doctor." Everyone looks at me like I'm a freak. Something seems different now. The man is walking towards us. He's never approached us before. We start walking back the way we came as quickly as possible. The doctor lets out a high-pitched shriek, like an injured animal, starts running at us. We panic and sprint out of there. We get out of the trees and are back by the bench at the edge of the woods. We turn to see where the man is, no sign of him. Is he there? Still nothing. Then suddenly he appears from behind a tree, still running towards us. We run into the house and lock the door. The girls are crying and huddled on the sofa. Jay is freaked out, standing motionless by the stairs. Me and Andrew look out of the window. The man is running up the driveway towards the house. He starts banging on the door. We shout at him and Andrew says to call the police. One of the girls does so. The door is being hit so hard that it sounds like the wooden frame is cracking. I shout, "Fuck off, we've called the police." The banging continues. I look out of the window on the other side of the house. The man is kicking the door. His arms and legs seem too long for his body. He has shoulder-length, greasy strands of gray hair. Almost resembles worms. He stops and stares right at me. His eyes seem sunken and almost yellow. I don't know what to do, so just stare back. He looks back at the door. Then he runs away, back towards the woods. Police turn up. We tell them our story. They know we've been drinking, underage and all that. They confiscate the rest of our alcohol and leave, telling us they will be back to see my parents tomorrow. Nothing much happens for the rest of the night, and as they said, the police come back. I got grounded for a while and nobody believes that this man was chasing us. We decided not to talk about it and we avoided the woods for a long time. Now moving on to June 2010. I was 19 now and had got a part-time job, living at home and saving money. My girlfriend, Emily, spent most of her time at my house, and my parents were getting an extension built. A small summer house kind of building at the back of the main house. Friday afternoon. Builders are working on the extension. Emily heads out to work. I have 3 days off and no coursework to do, so I get on with some serious gaming time. After a couple of hours, I decided to go out for a walk. It was a nice day. One of the builders calls me over and asks if I know what time my dad will be home. Nope. Says he has something important to ask him, so let him know when he arrives. I think nothing of it and head off for my walk. After about an hour, I'm close to another reservoir, not the one by my house. Staunton Harold Reservoir. I met Jay's mom, Karen. Says that Jay was talking about going camping. Sounds fun. Karen jokes that she hopes nobody chases us this time. This ain't no joke. I head home soon after and start thinking about that night again. Get back to the woodland area near my house. Decide to go and explore a little. Not really spent much time in the woods since that night. I'm standing at the place that we had the fire. Walk over to the tree where we first saw the man. Nothing unusual. Spend about 15 minutes looking around and then head back to the house. Get back and a builder calls me over again. Tells me that they all saw a tall old man in the house. Ask who he is as they hadn't seen him before and had been working here for 6 months now. Oh shit. Ask for description. Old, tall, glasses, white coat. The builder tells me he was in the window on the left on the second floor, my brother's room. I go upstairs and into Dylan's room. Nothing there. Nothing unusual or out of place. I figure the builders were local and had heard about the police being called that night. Shrug it off and get back to my game. Jumping forward again now to May 2013. This is the last time I saw the doctor. I was 22, getting ready to move out for university. Had some friends over. Me, Jack, and Jay. We were drinking in the woods, had a BBQ and stuff. I kept tapping Jay's head with a twig. Remind him of that night. He tells me to stop being a prick. Good point. Hours pass and we decide to search for the old man doctor. We figured that it was just some childish bullshit and that now we were older we wouldn't experience it again. Jack has his camera with him. It's about 7:20 p.m., so it's getting a bit dark now. We take photos and call out for the doctor to show himself, like a shitty paranormal show. After an hour, nothing. We carry on for shits and giggles. Jack stops and says, "That's weird." He shows us the screen on the back of his camera. He took 3 photos of a tree. On 2 of them, there's a strange-looking greenish mist in front of the tree. On the other photo, it's gone. We take more photos and call out some more. Jay decides that he wants to threaten the old man. Says he saw it on a TV show. Dickhead. 10-15 minutes pass and we hear a noise. Sounds like a dog throwing up. Lolwood. We try to find the source of sounds. Nothing. Jay calls out again. The noise stops. Then we hear another noise. Footsteps on dry leaves. We look around but can't see anything. Jack still taking photos. I get my phone out and turn the torch on. Looking around area. Suddenly Jack calls us over. 5 new photos with weird things in them. First photo looks like it was taken through a dirty window. Second photo, a white mist is blocking the view. Next 3 photos show the tree he was looking at, but it looks like a hand is coming around the tree. We decide that this must be the spot. Call out again and again. Hear the weird dog vomit noise again. This time behind us, louder. Turn around and see a shadow by another tree. Surely not. It looks like a man is standing there, watching us. Jack takes photos. The tree is too far away to focus in such low light. We get closer. Suddenly I noticed a smell, like a mix of wet soil and shit. Disgusting smell. We call out and ask who is there. No response. We get closer still. Then we can see it. The white coat. I shout at the figure and ask who is there. No response. It doesn't move. Jack changes the battery in his camera. Me and Jay move closer. Literally about 10 feet away from the doctor now. Can hear him breathing, like a low, deep, rattling growl almost. The smell is so bad. Feel sick. Get a little bit closer. Can see his eyes now. He's staring right at me. Literally making eye contact with him. I'm not a small guy, around 6'3". He makes me look short. I'm having to look upwards to hold eye contact. Who are you? What do you want? He remains silent apart from the heavy breaths. Jack comes over and takes a photo. The doctor erupts in anger, starts growling and screaming and waving his arms around. We move back and he starts snarling like a dog. We shout at him to stay back. He starts swaying from side to side in a really unnerving way. I have never seen anyone move like this before. It's hard to describe, like he's defying gravity almost. Jack takes another photo. The fucking madman. The doctor lets out a horrible shriek. I tell Jack to stop taking photos. Don't want to get butchered by a tall old man in Innawoods. The doctor stops, like perfectly still as the tree he is standing next to. Absolute silence. We wait for about 30 seconds and then call out to him again. Don't know what to say. Hello? Nothing. He is standing perfectly still, eyes still fixed on me. It's like he just shut down or something. Jack tried to take more photos. His camera had stopped working. Typical. I got my phone out again and took some photos of the man with it. When we looked back at them, they hadn't turned out. I tried to get another one, but as I raised my phone, the man started running. We chased after him. He ran fast, almost too fast, like absurdly fast. We couldn't keep up with him at all. But then he stopped again, that same weird, perfectly still position. He turned and stared right at us again. I shouted out something like, "Stop running" or "Stay still." I wanted to get a proper look at this guy or thing. He let out another screech. It was a sound I will never forget, almost like a special effects sound from a film or something, like a dragon or some shit. Then he started climbing a tree. We ran over to get a better look. Again, he was moving too fast. We looked up the tree but couldn't hear or see anything. I shone the light from my phone up the tree. Couldn't see shit. We waited for about 20 minutes. He was gone. We stayed up all night drinking and wondering WTF had happened. We were all spooked. We uploaded the photos to the computer, went through each one. We went back into the woods the following night. Didn't see or hear anything. Soon after that, I moved away to university and now I live with my girlfriend. We live about 10 or 12 miles from this woodland, but I've never been back into the woods. I visit my family from time to time, and I always feel uneasy when I look at the trees. I feel like I should go back to the woods now. Maybe have another look around. My family still live there, but have never seen anything else other than the dog getting spooked every now and then. The dog refuses to go into the woods alone, and when she goes outside at night, she refuses to move away from the house and just stares at the woodland. If you put your hand in front of her eyes, she moves her head around your hand to keep looking at the woodland. As requested, my drawing of the doctor. I know it's terrible. He was around 7 feet tall, his arms and legs seemed too long for his body, and eyes had a kind of yellow tiny to them, to the iris itself. The smell that seemed to come from him was fucking awful. Like I said, a mixture of wet soil and shit, like a sewage plant that had been covered in mud or something. Just for reference, here's a screen cap of the reservoir that I mentioned. Okay guys, I'm back with some more information. I finished work early today and decided to head back into Ticknall. I haven't been into the village itself for maybe 5-6 years now, but figured I could maybe ask around in a few local shops and cafes or something for information. I didn't go back to the woods yet. It seemed pointless in daylight. I don't know. Just felt like it would be better to wait until I had more time to explore. I'm staying with my parents until Sunday night, so I have plenty of time to look around. Anyway, I was there for about 2.5 hours and spoke to some of the locals, some of whom knew my family and parents, so were happy to talk. I'll give you a brief outline of the relevant information that I found. So the first woman, named Margaret Wesley, age 72, lived in Ticknall since she was 10. Says she only believes in ghosts because she saw one when she was younger. Said she'd never heard of a doctor that died in the area. Did remember a man drowning in the reservoir in the late 1970s. Some say suicide, others say murder. Said that it only made local news and never went national. Said the man was not from the area, potentially a foreign man, potentially German or Polish. Did not remember any names. Second person, name Ross Walker, age 52, dad lived in Ticknall. Dad died in 2015, aged 82. Never heard of anything strange at the reservoir or nearby. Never heard of any doctors or deaths near the reservoir. Reckons his house is haunted by an old man named Greg. oldgreg.jpg lol. Potentially disregarding everything he says. Seems strange. Maybe a local drunk. Third person, name Mary. Didn't get a surname. Age late 60s. Parents used to own a farm near my parents' house. Says her dogs would never go into the woods after sunset. Says she often hears strange noises in the woods by her house. Growling, screaming, potentially a fox, and howling seem to be the most popular noises. Says she doesn't know of any local doctors dying in or around the reservoir. Did remember a few incidents involving a ghostly World War II plane. Says that people saw a World War II plane over the village at least 5 times a few years ago. At the same time this was happening, she kept seeing lights in the woods. Could have been fires. Not sure. Name Mark Thompson, age 38. A doctor that lives near Ticknall. LL what it's the ghost, only lived there for 5 years. Also remembers reports of World War II plane. Says that some people refuse to go to Carver's Rocks after sunset. Doesn't know why. Something to do with a story about a curse. Couldn't remember where he heard this. Fifth and final person, name Mary Hutchinson. Age 63, lived in Ticknall since she was born. Remembers a doctor that moved to the area years ago. Again, mentioned he may have been German. Definitely not British. Can't remember names, but said he died when she was in her early 30s. Potential suicide. Said that her family always disliked him. Said his family were Nazis. Believes he fled to England to escape repercussions. Not sure how true. So there you go, guys. Some information that I managed to find today. Not sure if any of it is relevant, but there does seem to be a few links or pieces of recurring information. Maybe there really was a doctor that lived in the area. I'd be interested to do a little more digging and see whether I could find more. There were also plenty of people that I spoke to that either didn't want to talk about ghosts or the paranormal, or who simply didn't know anything that was relevant.
Location, Ticknall, skies over the village. Type, haunting manifestation. Date, 2014. Further comments. A witness watched a low-flying 4-engine aircraft from the Second World War fly overhead. The witness later realized it was a Halifax bomber. There are no operational Halifax left. Related, did OP discover a mutated World War II POW Nazi zombie doctor that died in a plane crash?
Nice find, Anon. I wonder if there's any further information on that. I did a quick Google search and couldn't really find much in the way of ghosts or anything weird in the area. Maybe someone else might have more luck.
Then Anon eventually live-streamed himself going back to the location. No video archive footage is available. However, he gave a quick recap after it finished.
Okay, so starting with the live stream. Doing live stream. Phone acting up, screen keeps flickering. Battery at 87%, 10.6 GB free space. Start hearing weird noises in a woods. Seeing shadowy figures between trees. Lose signal, stream cuts off. Live stream is still recording, so carry on. Call out to the doctor some more. Suddenly I hear the sound of running footsteps getting closer. Live stream still recording. Would blatantly be able to hear footsteps on recording. Hearing bangs and cracks around me. Stuff falling from trees every 5-10 seconds. Call out again. Turn on my torch and look around. Heading back to the cold spot. Suddenly notice a shadow in the torchlight. Hear a twig cracking in the direction of the shadow. Stand still and watch for about 2 minutes. The bush I'm recording starts to bend. Splits in two like someone is parting it. As that happens, I hear a noise. Sounds like a growl grunt. Call out in German. WTF was I thinking .jpg. Bush springs back to normal position. I get pushed to the ground, 6'3", fat, 230 pounds, pushed flat on back by something I can't see. Nope. Get the hell out quick. Running. Live stream is still recording through all of this. Log out and in again. Notice the phone is down to 3% battery, from 87% to 3%, in approximately 8-10 minutes. I walked back to my parents' house. It was about 15-20 minutes away, and for the whole time there were footsteps behind me. Back at parents' house, brother and mother in bed. No, not together, you sick assholes. Sit in the kitchen with a drink, looking out of the window. Still got a bad feeling. Go back outside and sit on the step looking down the driveway. Phone is on charge now as it died during the walk back. Seeing shadows at the end of the driveway. 50-60 feet away. Well, I've come this far. Walk towards the shadows. Start calling out again. What do you want, you pathetic little fuckwit? Here to push me over again? Do you enjoy pushing fat men over? What? Shadows stop appearing. Shining torch around the area. Suddenly notice something reflective by a nearby tree. Get closer for a better view. Hear rustling ahead. Keep the torch on the same point at all times. My heart stops. It looks like eyes. Like light reflecting on eyes, but it can't be. Because these eyes are about 15 feet up a tree. Get closer still. Eyes are ducking and diving around the tree. Really fucking weird movement. Suddenly vanish. Oh, okay.jpg. Hear a growl. Something hits my head. Nah. Get back in the house quick and sharp. Post fucking haste, good sir. Realize phone has stopped charging. Try the lights. No lights. Open fridge. No light. No power. Check fuses. All fine. Go up to the spare room. Sit in bed with my phone. Trying to look through videos from the hunt. Try the lamp next to bed. Nothing. Go downstairs and lock all doors. Grab Dad's old toolbox. Hammer for protection. Get back to the spare room. Try the lamp again. Power back on. Atmosphere has changed. All quiet now. Seems calm. Sit on bed and try to look through hunt footage again. And that is basically it. I came back on 4chan and then posted. Maybe it's time for sleep now it's light out? Got a photo of the scratches that happened during the live stream if anyone's still interested.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.